I mentioned we'll be joined by a number of legal experts. Austin Bracco Powers is a private legal practitioner. He's joining us on that first one, having to do with the snowballing effect of petitions and against the former Attorney General and what it is that we're seeing play out. We're also expecting Justice Abdullah, who is a law lecturer at the University of Professional Studies Accra as well, to join us on the phone lines as well for a conversation. But let me say a very big morning, a good morning to you, Austin Bracco Powers, and thank you as always for joining us here on the 3FM Sunrise.
Good morning, Mawuena. Hope you are doing well.
I am fantastic. I trust that you are too.
Very, 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 very blessed.
Open wounds, some have called it, but there's a lot that's been happening, even as the court has been on a legal vacation. And these are not matters which are playing out openly in courts, but it has repercussions on the country's justice delivery system and certain key players in it, because we're talking about a former Attorney General here and possibly as well a Justice of the Supreme Court. Let's start off with the petition, which we saw from the private businessman. We know in his official capacity now he's one of the directors at the NIB, the National Investigations Bureau, amongst many other things. But this petition, to start off with, is what has kickstarted all of this and reason why we're having a conversation. Have you read the petition yourself? And in reading the petition, did you find it the appropriate courtesy to have laid this complaint to start off with?
Yes, Mawuena, I think I have monitored the media and I see a flurry of excitement regarding the two separate petitions submitted to the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police over the controversial 200 ambulance bill. But let me be blunt with you and your cherished listeners and those who may be watching you on the social. I don't see, or I do not foresee anything meaningful emerging from these two petitions.
You don't see anything meaningful coming out of these petitions?
Yes, and Mawuena, at the end of the day, the decision on whether or not to press criminal charges in this long drawn-out ambulance saga rests solely with the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine. And let's not pretend we don't know his track record.
By his track, okay, proceed.
Yes, because he has to call the shots. And don't forget, many refer to him as Mr. Dolly Prosecutor. And it didn't end because of the number of high-profile criminal cases he has discontinued, especially those involving key figures within the National Democratic Congress. But the petition filed by Daniel Ofori Atta calls for investigations into business values at Jakpa and Supreme Court Justice Emmanuel Kuyendi for allegedly undermining the administration of justice. But let's be realistic. I see this petition hitting a brick wall. Some argue that the two men could face charges for interference with legal proceedings under the Criminal Offences Act 1960 at 29. But I must ask, what offense exactly did they commit? Is interference with legal proceedings even a recognized crime under Ghanaian law? A petition, Mawuena, offers nothing new, just recycled information already in the public domain. So it is my view that it's a hollow cry in the wind. In fact, it feels more like an invitation for the police to embark on a fishing expedition in an open sea with just a hook and no bait. By you, as I mentioned earlier, the petitioner has failed to present any new or substantive evidence pointing to a conspiracy between Jakpa and Kuyendi to undermine a criminal trial. And you must know that not every cry for help is a genuine one. I believe, and I think, petitions should be dismissed outright to discourage similar frivolous petitions in the future. But what is more intriguing is the petition filed by Richard Jakpa himself against the former Attorney General. That petition, to my mind, raises the possibility of fabrication of evidence, a serious offense under Section 213 of the Criminal Offences Act. That is Act 29. Because the law is clear. A person who fabricates evidence with intent to defeat, obstruct, or pervert the force of justice in a proceeding commits a criminal offense and is liable to the same penalty as if that person has committed perjury in that proceeding. And when you read Section 214, it explains it explains a person fabricated if it caused a circumstance to exist. Don't forget, during the period the case was, or the trial, evidence emerged or documents emerged regarding a conversation between the then Attorney General, and Richard Jakpa, raising issues of witness tampering, among others. So it is important to know that fabrication of evidence is treated with the same seriousness as perjury. That petition, unlike the first one, has real legal weight and deserves careful attention. And it's proving the implications for the former Attorney General will be severe, not just legally, but politically and institutionally as well. But in the end, while the first petition appears to be only legal, I think the second raises substantial constitutional and criminal law questions. Raise 9 public debate over the entire ambulance deal altogether. So, from my perspective, the first petition filed by the lawyer Juan Daniel Okoyata, I think it's much ado about it. Because, like I said, it offers no new information than what we already know during the period of the trial. We already know the information contained and the documents he sent, he attached to his petition are documents that are public knowledge.
Right.
Information that is already public knowledge.
Right.
The one that has serious consequences, that has serious implications, is the one filed by against the former Attorney General. So,
right. I'll come to you on the Richard Jakpa petition, because that actually was the first petition to the CID. I want to just stay on the Daniel Oforiatta petition to the CID over the Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Yoni Kulendi. There are those who make the argument that it cannot be treated with contempt as you're seeking to argue, because this is a justice of the Supreme Court who is aware of interference as a crime, as you've enumerated quite succinctly on in the first petition having to do with Mr. Jakpa and then the former Attorney General. Now, the subject of the matters in which he was a party to and per the narrative out there was the one who created the platform for the invitation, were matters that could have appeared before him at the Supreme Court, because this was in the High Court and it could have ended up at the Supreme Court. Per that alone, there's a justifiable enough basis for a certain enquiry into it. Is it the case you're making the argument that the enquiry should not be at the behest of the CID, but perhaps at another forum?
So the thing is, Mawuena, if you claim or you suspect any attempt to, frustrate the administration of justice, I think these are lawyers. Let me say, first of all, the Supreme Court justice is a lawyer. And if you have any evidence against it, I think the best appropriate forum, if you believe that indeed it is weightier, should not be the CID. What is the CID got to do with this matter? I think the first of all, the place sending the petition to CID is a no-go zone, because I don't see what the CID will be doing with regard to the issue. And Mawuena, the thing is, we must be able to discourage people from sending or filing to petitions. Because we do that, we invite a lot of people to file. But there's someone who will just say, I'm filing the petition against Mawuena because I disagree with his manner of interviewing, or I disagree with the way he makes his presentation, which for me, I think you are doing an excellent work. So we must be able to get people to be serious with matters. If you are presenting a petition regarding significant individuals, it must be heavy. Unlike the one we witnessed with the removal of the former Chief Justice. when you read a petition, and when I read a petition, I took my time to go through bullet by bullet. I saw nothing, no substantial ground upon which even the CID should waste resources on. We must be serious. I don't think encouraging the CID to dismiss the petition will be in a way discouraging people from filing petition. But we should be able to invite, we should be able to stop the conversation that anytime you want to raise issues against somebody, it must be substantial. It must not be frivolous. It must not be just anything, just speaking something to slap somebody. No, it must be something where you have evidence. If you look at the petition and the materials the individual has attached to them, they are not things that are extraordinary things. They are things we already know. In any case, he has not even demonstrated in the petition, Mawuena, that the Supreme Court judge and Jakpa, they have connived to frustrate the decision of justice or to frustrate
and that's the basis upon which you believe there really is no merit in, because there has to be the proof that the conversations was to frustrate the administration of justice, and per the petition, it doesn't clearly tell us that.
You must, Mawuena, you must do at least draw a connection in your petition. You must not raise a reasonable doubt. The petition has nothing. You are saying that in the petition, you're saying that for the meeting and the WhatsApp messages and audio conversations, there's a likelihood that the two may have connived to frustrate sanction on that. I mean, this is not an argument anybody should be making, and this is not an argument we should be entertaining in the first instance. Because the thing is that we are dealing with people who are, let's say, they are not just mere fish in the ocean. These are people who play key roles in the administration of not only justice, but also now is in a major position.
Right.
Regarding also the administration of justice, because his work he also gathers intel. So I think we must have evidence. Not really. The evidence must not be that substantial, but it must raise some doubt, which will even break the conscience of the CID to investigate that matter. But the petition, what I have said, unless the petitioner has a different one, which he is holding and is yet too far. But the petition he has filed with the CID, is empty, hollow, and a far cry from the truth.
We know that he's as well taking an extra petition to the presidency seeking the removal of the justice of the Supreme Court. We have that on record as well here at TV3 and 3FM. You still will make the same argument, considering we're yet to see the content of that petition fully laid out?
If there's something, I'm sure we would have seen in the current petition before the CID. But if he's sending the very content he has in the petition to the CID to the presidency, I don't see it surviving. Because I don't see it surviving. The thing is, you should not invite the CID to investigate what you don't know, or to just you want them to launch an investigation into the unknown waters, to discover what you have not even discovered. You, the petitioner, must have discovered something, the basis of which you are inviting the CID to investigate further. And on that basis, the CID will then go into that. But you are not inviting the CID to now be looking for evidence for you. I don't think that's the nature of the work of the CID. If you have evidence and you believe that the evidence is with you and will lead to one irresolvable conclusion that perhaps they may have been using to distract or to frustrate the administration of justice, you should have presented that evidence. But for me, from the petition, what I've read, I want to put a record. I like people to challenge certain things so that we be able to refine our laws. But that is no invitation to allow people to bring frivolous petitions to in any way frustrate the right processes. And if you think maybe the judge may have denied, he should send the evidence to the right people.
He makes the argument on stated misbehavior amongst many other such things. Stated misbehavior.
But Mawuena, in the petition, did you even discover any act? Did he even state any act that amounts to stated misbehavior? It is raising allegations that, and he's drawing false conclusions. that maybe by meeting or by 2 or 3 conversations, there's a possibility of collusion. I think this is an invitation. You are inviting us to draw conclusions based on false assumptions. There must be evidence. You don't have even on record that the two met to make sure that they frustrate that decision of justice. The conversation we have seen so far, and the ones he has attached to his petition, the matters that are just already in the public
in the public domain.
The WhatsApp conversations, read them. During the heat of the criminal trial, we saw the WhatsApp conversation. We also saw the audio conversation, and we listened to them. But inviting us to conclude that based on that, you think they may have colluded to control that decision. I think he's inviting us into a war with only a
but there are questions of ethical standards. Where many will argue that once you rise up throughout the country's legal system to the point of a justice of the Supreme Court, there are certain standards that will be expected of you. One of such which could include not being seen as a medium through which you're convening meetings between an attorney general and an accused person in a trial that could possibly end up before you. That raises ethical standards, ethical questions, some say.
It may be a fair argument. But when in this country, everybody knows everybody. And we all meet. We can meet. But I can meet you, Mawuena, we can have a conversation. What if after that there's an issue we need to address? In this way, by reason of that, I may not be judicious, or I may not attach some seriousness to the work I do. What I'm saying is that perhaps it may raise issues of ethical standards, which can be addressed by another forum, not other than the CID. But the Criminal Offences Act 29, which the third gentleman has cited in his petition, I don't see where this even lies. I don't see any possible criminal offense that could be imposed on the Supreme Court judge, because I don't see it. He tried to draw a false conclusion that because of what they are doing, and I've pointed that there's no offense in our laws such as interfering with legal proceedings. I've not seen any offense like that. Interfering with legal proceedings, I've not seen that offense in our criminal Act 29, which the gentleman cited in his petition. So I don't understand it. If you feel and you are sure that there's a possibility of collusion to interfere with that decision of justice, you must be bold to point out, to guide the police. But you must not invite the police to go and look for offense where none existed, or where none exists, and ask them to, in a way, to conclude that perhaps they may have. I don't know, but I have read the petition, and I cringed when I concluded, because I was thinking I could discover something new, something I don't know completely, something Ghanaians may not have been exposed to. But I didn't see it. And mind you, when I'm saying, unless the third gentleman has separate or secret information that we are yet to know, which perhaps may contain in the petition sent to the presidency. But if he sent the very content that he sent to the CID to the president, I don't see it survive. The thing is that we must not say that because the petition has been sent to the presidency, by reason of that the president must trigger it. The president must consult and make sure that if it doesn't it doesn't establish, or there's no prima facie evidence to be established in regard to that petition, the president will dismiss it. And this is as simple as ABC. We don't need to waste our time on certain things. We must be able to invite people to bring in petitions that are weightier, petitions indeed that can even that will cause a change, and that that's not petition that is just much ado about nothing. So,
Austin Bracco Powers is our guest here on 3FM 92.7, and we're talking petitions, which we've seen in the last 48 plus hours. In fact, since Monday, so it's more than 72 hours. Richard Jakpa's petition, and now Daniel Ofori-Atta's petition as well. So we've touched on Daniel Ofori's petition. Let's return to the petition by Richard Jakpa, where you say that is good enough grounds, and there's good enough grounds for the CID to begin to inquire into. There are those who make the argument that, look, there's an active case or a hearing currently at the General Legal Council where the Attorney General is responding to a similar such petition against him. Shouldn't that process have been done before we're seeking to have the CID come in as well?
But the thing is, in our laws, one act alone can lead to multiple charges. One act alone. So the fact that there's another forum which sees with a matter, such a matter, or let me say, it sees with the issue, doesn't mean that it cannot be also be prosecuted from another angle. The thing is, fabrication of evidence is a serious offense under Section 213 of the Criminal Offences Act, 1929. And that cannot stop. Investigation into that matter cannot be stopped because there's a petition before the General Legal Council. That should not be the argument. The General Legal Council can investigate the matter because Godfrey Dame is a lawyer. So they can investigate the matter and deal with him as a lawyer. Then the CID will also go into the matter and deal with him as a Ghanaian citizen. So the same act can lead to multiple offenses. And that is what our law permits. However, our law does not permit the same offense leading to different punishments. So I think the same act can lead to multiple offenses. So it is fine that the CID is investigating because it's a serious offense. In fact, in our laws, it is equated to perjury, which is a second-degree felony. And when you look at the laws, when you look at Section 292 of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act 1960, if anyone found guilty of perjury and by extension fabrication of evidence could face a prison term of up to 10 years. So that petition, to my mind, has real legal weight and deserves careful attention. And if proven, the implications, as I noted earlier, if proven, the implications for the former Attorney General could be severe, not just legally, but politically and institutionally. Because it will help us. Because don't forget, witness tampering and telling a witness. Because as lawyers, we are told you don't coach even your clients. You can tell your client how to answer questions, but you don't coach your client by saying you are telling your client what to say in court. That's not what we are supposed to do. When you do that, it's unethical as lawyers. So the CID, I think they are seized with a very important petition. We need to get to the bottom of it. They need to investigate and establish if indeed there's evidence backing the claim made by Jakpa. And if there is, I think it will be the call of the Attorney General to decide whether to press charges or not. But I see that petition as weightier than the former one. It's something very important. Because as noted earlier, fabrication of evidence is a serious offense. And the law makes it clear that when you cause a circumstance to exist, so a thing to exist, something that is not there, you cause it to exist. You collide with somebody to go and fabricate or to tell lies, to tell the judges something, or tell the judge or a court
something that does not exist. Then
a material particular that does not exist is an offense.
Right. I want us to move a bit further on in the conversation as to the extent that this has taken political coloration. The former Attorney General is expected at the police CID today because a formal invitation has been thrown to him. How do we proceed? And when I say how, I mean the CID, because you make the point clearly that this is a weighty petition which they can look into, the political coloration and all of that. How do they proceed in terms of probing into these allegations and the investigations proper?
Well, I think that the CID, the police is yet to show independence in terms of the work they do. They are yet, even because the police itself is not, the police administration itself is not independent. So often than not, they tend to pander to all the whims and caprices of the government in power. But we must be able to develop as a nation to a position where, or to a point where we allow our security agencies to do their work. How we do that, we need to even engineer our own law. I think the police will have to be fair with regards to this petition, and they must be open. They must make sure that in their investigation they are engaging the public. That is how, when they are open, aliens will side with them. But when they tend to shut everything in mystery, that is where the political polarization will start. I think, Mawuena, crime has no color. We must be able to get to the bottom of this matter. And the two political parties should allow the CID to do its work. We need to get to the bottom of it. Because when we establish whether or not indeed there's evidence implicating the former Attorney General, it will serve as a precedent so that anybody who occupies that office will be careful and mindful. And not only them, even lawyers will also be careful. And as also judges will be careful. It will serve as a key legal precedent for Ghanaians. We must allow the CID. I think the CID should be allowed to do their work. They should not be interfered with. The government must take its hands off their work or their back. Allow them to do their work. Invite whoever is responsible and invite whoever they wish to invite. Get to the bottom of it. Because in the end, it will help us. We need to sound and appear clean, not only to our citizens, but also to foreigners, investors, those who are outside, so that when they are coming, they know they can trust our judicial system. In fact, this has a serious implication for the work of our judges. And it is in the interest of giving the acting and the newly nominated chief justice to make sure that this thing is done and dusted. I think we must stop this needless petty partisan politics and where we read meanings into incidents. Other than that, we won't get to anywhere. At what point will we allow the law to work when they have to do with politicians? And at what point will we allow the law to work when they have to do with ordinary citizens? When it comes to ordinary citizens, we allow the law to work. We don't even say anything.
Right.
But when it comes to politicians, you see people passing up as premises of law enforcement agencies to put pressure on them. I think we need to stop this fact, and the police must step up, wrap up their activities. The CID must do their work without fear or favor.
Right then, Austin, appreciate you as always for speaking to us. There's another leg of this conversation I'm sure we'll get into a bit more because of the in-camera nature of it, and that's the general legal appearance, the general legal counsel appearance of the former Attorney General and the argument he's been putting forth. We can't have that conversation just as yet because there's the expectation that there will be an in-camera nature of it. But we'll see how today's proceedings will go, and then I'm sure we'll come back again and have a conversation.
That's right.
That's Austin Bracco Powers. He's a private legal practitioner speaking to us this morning here on the 3FM Sunrise. We couldn't have Justice Abdullahi join us this morning, but let us know what you think as well of what it is that we're seeing play out. The former Attorney General, Godfred Yeboadami, he's expected a lot later today at the CID, where Mr. Jakpa has petitioned for an investigation into his conduct while he was Attorney General then. You can't educate whether or not immunity would have covered him in his time in office as Attorney General and leader of the bar. But I'm sure we'll get a bit more afterwards when we hear from, we get details of the proceedings from the Criminal Investigations Department today. winning season again, and this time it's about chasing wins and collecting them. The luckiest is back again. All you have to do is dial *712 hash. We've talked to you about how you can have the system generates the numbers for you. If you prefer to choose your own ticket, you go with option 1. But if you want the system to pick a ticket for you, then that is possible as well. You confirm your payment with Momo and you're in. But if you want to do all of this via the online platforms, get onto the luckiestafrica.com and register. Tap on community tickets to either pick your own lucky number or let the system choose for you. You can buy a ticket for yourself or someone. When it's time to pay, you use Momo if you're in Ghana, or pay with your card if you're abroad. One ticket can multiply your money by 500 times. And your whole community could win 10 times over. This is your golden chance. Hop on and let's get lucky together, because luck is everywhere. Again, that when we return, we'll get into the conversation having to do with cybercrime and what the president has been saying. This is 3FM 92.7. Stay with us. Moving into the subject matter of cybercrime. And if you know the origins of this song, perhaps you will understand why. A huge song in Nigeria and also here in Ghana. Some attribute it to a lot of wrongs in terms of the fact that it spurs on young persons engaged in cybercrime amongst many others. But wherever you stand in the argument, it fits properly in the context of our next conversation. And we'll have that conversation now, starting off with what the president had to say when the Cybersecurity Month was kicked off during an event there at the Burma Camp Hall yesterday. Speeches from the Interior Minister as well as the Communications Minister. There was a speech as well from the Cybercrime Authority boss. The CID boss was present as well. I saw the Yoko boss as well. And so pretty much another council or governing board of some sort as well was inaugurated by the president yesterday. We'll start off with listening to exactly what the president has been saying, because he said there is zero room for romance scam amongst others in the country Ghana. And that's very important that the president leads the way in saying this. Remember when FBI was in town and some of the individuals were being escorted out of the jurisdiction? At the airport, you would have found there was a president's photo in the background somewhere, which a lot of people spoke about. So the president says zero room, zero, for anything cybercrime related. Let's listen to him. That's President John Mahama on that front, and then we get into our conversations with the boss of GIFEC, Alhaji Rashid Tanko Computer.
Sunrise.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month launch.
In the nude and others, and promised them that there were people abroad waiting to make travel documents for them to go abroad. And apparently they were selling these nude pictures and publishing them on the web. And so people were surprised to see their nude pictures on the web. And I remember the sensation at that time when some of our newspapers grabbed these pictures and started reproducing them. It created quite an embarrassment for many of these young, innocent girls. And so cyberbullying, cybercrime has been with us for years. With the explosion in the digital space and different kinds of instruments in that space has become more sophisticated. And sometimes you just entertain yourself when you hear a very cyber-aware person who they try to scam, and they play along, and the conversation is normally very interesting. Me free MTN. I mean, MTN will call you in tree. First thing, if they manage some good English, please, we are calling you from MTN, and your number has been blocked, so we want to unblock it for you. Your mobile pin has been unblocked. Then they start leading you. And some of these, I respect those of our citizens. They say, oh, is that so? He says, yeah, so I'm going to send you a code. When I send you a code, repeat it to me so that I can unblock your Momo pin. The most interesting one is this guy who pretends to be a stammerer and says, so read the number for me quickly. They say, one. I wish that all our citizens will be that aware that your bank won't call you, your telecom provider won't call you and ask for your personal details. And so this is a very important month and a program. Some are romance scams, and recently we've been collaborating with our international partners.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
Is here, and if you indulge me for a few minutes, make it on you. Ladies and gentlemen, across the world, digitalization is transforming economies, governments, and societies. In Ghana, we observe its impact in how our farmers access weather information on their phones, how our students engage in online learning, how businesses reach their markets far beyond their traditional borders, and how government services are delivered with greater speed and transparency. Digitalization is not just an abstract idea, it is real. It influences how we live and work. It opens new opportunities for innovation, efficiency, and inclusion. But as with all revolutions, there are risks. The same technologies that empower us can also be exploited to disrupt economies, to manipulate information, steal people's identities, or even compromise critical national infrastructure. More than ever before. They are invisible until it's too late, and they evolve every day. Recent studies highlight the seriousness of this issue. The International Monetary Fund's April 2024 Global Financial Stability Report revealed that over the past 2 decades, 20% of all reported cyber incidents worldwide have targeted the financial sector, resulting in direct losses exceeding $12 billion. Since 2020 alone, cyber-related losses are estimated to be over $2.5 billion. These are staggering figures. They reflect not just lost money, but lost trust, lost jobs, and in some cases, lost lives. Ghana is not immune. We too have encountered cyber fraud cases, phishing attacks, identity theft, and other digital crimes that harm individuals and businesses alike. As we expand digital public services and mobile money usage, we must reinforce the systems that safeguard them. And this is why under the Reset Ghana agenda, my administration has prioritized digital transformation as a key part of our national development policy. And cybersecurity is at the core of that transformation. When I took office in January this year, I promised the Ghanaian people that we would develop a modern, inclusive, and secure digital economy. That promise continues to guide my work today. Let me emphasize 4 flagship initiatives already in progress. The first is the 1 million coders program. I launched this program in April of this year. The initiative aims to train 1 million young Ghanaians in digital skills, including coding, software engineering, data analytics, and cybersecurity. Already pilot projects in Greater Accra, Ashanti, Bono, and Upper East region are equipping thousands of our youth with tools that prepare them not just for jobs today, but jobs of the future. The second is the Digital Jobs Initiative. This is a public-private partnership aimed at creating sustainable employment opportunity through technology. We're establishing regional digital centers for business process outsourcing and ICT parks to promote innovation in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and digital entrepreneurship. A key project under this initiative is the redevelopment of the Dawa ICT Park into a global center of excellence. I cannot act alone. We must cooperate with the rest of the world. We're already signatories to the Malabo Convention and the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. These frameworks enhance our ability to cooperate internationally and align our laws with global standards. This landmark treaty equips us with new tools. This October, Ghana will take another historic step. We'll ratify and sign the United Nations Convention on Cybercrime. Governments and institutions accountable.
Right, that's the president. It was a long speech, and so I have to cut it off air at this particular point in time, so we can get into our conversations. Alhaji Rashid Tanko Computer is the acting chief executive of the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, GIFEC. He's joined us via the phone lines. Alhaj, thank you very much for joining us this morning here on the 3FM Sunrise.
My brother, how are you?
I am well. I was hoping that you would have made your way into the studio, but I got the indication this morning that we will have to do it via phone. And so...
Very well. Next time I'll come over.
Fantastic. We look forward to having you in the studio as well. Yesterday was an important launch, Cybersecurity Awareness Month, for the uninitiated, which is something we like to say, but for persons who might not really be aware. We had the president make or crack some jokes about the threats of cybercrime, but help us understand what this Awareness Month is about and why it's important for Ghanaians to be aware of it to start off with.
Very well. Let me say good morning to your cherished listeners. And I'm asking, tomorrow was an important day for our digital economy. Now, we are moving from the local economy to the digital economy. Everything we do now is on digital platforms. A lot of activities are going on there. Because of that, a lot of serious cyber criminals are all over the place. In fact, hacking on people's accounts and then stealing their hard-earned resources. And so this day has been earmarked to educate the general populace about the need to guide themselves against these cyber crooks and criminals, and then the way to go about it. So the whole month, it's a month-long program which is meant to educate the general public. In fact, I would describe it as those who don't have much knowledge about cybersecurity. We want to make sure that we delineate it into their understanding so that they can get to understand it better, like the way the president did yesterday when he demonstrated the way people hack mobile phone users, Momo users' account, and then make away their money. In fact, if you go to the rural areas, these are some of the things they suffer. The criminals are using the major telecos, pretending to be working with them, and just siphoning our uninformed brothers and sisters about cybersecurity issues and getting away with it. So these are the things we try to do this month, hence the launch for people to have that awareness yesterday. And I must say we have to congratulate His Excellency the President. He was on top of issues. He covered almost all the areas that the Cybersecurity Authority wanted to dump home, and he did justice to that. So to the ordinary person who wants to understand what we talk about cybersecurity, it's just about your digital activities that you are involved in. People are praying behind the scenes, praying their eyes behind the scenes just to make sure that they get hold of it. Of late, we've seen it. A lot of people WhatsApp account has been hacked. People Momo account has been hacked. People bank details have been hacked, and then people are involved, especially this issue he talks of, the relationship crime that he talked of yesterday. The romance, we call it a verse. Some will even call it sex crime. I mean, these are some of the things they do. People do it a lot, and it's damaging the image of this country. I was so happy when some of them were arrested and sent down to U.S. For prosecution and all that, because it's not part of our culture. We are not known like that. But because of the advance of technology, people just want to sit and they make money at the expense of the credibility of the country. And these are the things the president was talking about. And we are going to go hard on such people. We're not going to allow that. Because Ghana is not known for such things. But of late, we are beginning to see that just because people just want to make money, they decide to pretend that they are so and so, using, even sometimes they use dead ladies' pictures, use dead people accounts, and try to scam people out there. We nearly lost out from the American priority list in terms of people that they respect a lot when it comes to the issues of cybersecurity and all that. We nearly lost it because of this kind of behavior. You know, Ghana, we are not part and parcel of that kind of act. But some crooked criminals who just want to make ill-gotten money will go on that tangent to destroy the image of this country. And I'm so happy the president touched on it.
And in all of this, I'm sure a lot of people will be interested to know what the plan is from the respective security agencies. Not going into the detail, but the certain level of assurance that we have this under control. But I want to zero in on GIFEC, which is the institution you're heading, and ask the role you're playing in all of this in this month of cybersecurity awareness.
Very well. For instance, GIFEC has a program that is known as ICT penetration in the rural community. And then as part of it, we have what we call Girls in ICT and training of people in digital skills. And we are doing just that. We did one in Volta region, and we are doing one currently in Upper West region. We are targeting about 1,000 girls and people who want to understand digital skills in terms of basic ICT knowledge, and then that is where we are coming in there. So we are into the unserved and underserved communities. That is where our operations are, where we go into rural communities and open up the cyber space for them, let them understand the digital space, how to leverage their life through this digital space. And then so GIFEC is providing the infrastructure on that aspect. And then we're trying to make sure that our colleagues from the security aspect will leverage on whatever we are doing, because we would have introduced the brethren into basic ICT, basic digital skills, and then they will now come in with their knowledge and cyber security, especially. That's why we are collaborating with the Cybersecurity Authority and the other allied security agencies, so that they can leverage on whatever we are doing. The platform would have been created, and then they can take it on from there.
Right, and back to the conversation as to what it is that is being done to ensure, because you mentioned that we nearly lost out on a certain level of credibility. We know there has been from time to time a list which is released by the U.S. State Department as to countries which are aiding terrorist organizations and groupings like that. When you say we nearly lost out, get more into the details for us, and then what countermeasures we have in place now to ensure that things do not degenerate?
Well, that's why I'm telling you, like what the president indicated yesterday, that we are not going to relent on that one. We will continue to collaborate with our international partners. to weed out all those crooks and criminals who are involved in this matter. We are not going to shield anybody. I mean, we as soon as we came in, we didn't relent. I mean, we made sure that we collaborated with Interpol and then FBI to make sure that those people involved in this matter were arrested. You remember some of them were extradited to the United States to face justice. I mean, these are the things the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will continue to do just to make sure that our credibility is intact. We are not noted for that. And we want the international community to have that confidence in us as a government and the good people of Ghana that we will make good use of the cyberspace. We will not use it as a platform to scam people across the globe and economy and to destroy our image as we are noted for. I mean, so we are on course on that, and I'm happy the president touched it and hit the nail at the right place and said, look, we are not going to relent on this. We will not, and we are not going to shield anybody whatsoever. If you are found in that thing, we will make sure that we come after you. Our international communities will continue to collaborate with our international bodies that are into cyber investigation, especially FBI and CIA, and we'll weed them out and get them. If there is a need to extradite, we will do that. So that one day, we have taken a lot of measures on it, and I'm happy yesterday he inaugurated a committee, the joint committee, to deal with this. That was a very beautiful one.
It was what I was going to get into. What will be the mandate of this committee going forward now that he's inaugurated the National Cybersecurity, that committee?
You know, it's a multifaceted fight. You cannot leave it to only the Cybersecurity Authority, because all the other agencies who were part and parcel of the inauguration are also into clamping down on cyber criminals, especially you see that the Ghana Police Service. The minister gave us a rundown of activities they have covered, and people they have arrested, and even equipment they brought in to aid them in these cyber criminal activities. I mean, so you cannot leave them out this body. They need to join forces so that they know what they are doing, each other organization is doing, so that we can have a common platform in fighting these criminals. So that was a need to bring all these bodies together, so that you can have a joint committee like that, so that each body will know what the other is doing. Because you saw that National Signal Bureau was part of it, and I was happy the NIB too was part, and then you have the police service, of course, and the National Cybersecurity Authority. So, and other bodies who are all into these activities of fighting these criminals. Because most, in fact, singular high-rate criminal activities that has a tendency of destabilizing a state, cyber security. If you don't take it serious and handle your cyberspace very well, one day they can ground the country at a go. In fact, in one of my trips, we had to wait for almost 2 hours because somebody had hacked into the airlines systems and grounded the whole airport for almost 3 hours. And they tracked the person all the way. The person was sitting in Afghanistan. So you can imagine. So when you don't take your cyberspace very serious and think that it is only in Ghana that can happen, the person is sitting in Ghana, somebody can sit somewhere and destabilize the whole country for us, and we'll be in disarray. So I'm happy the president inaugurated it yesterday and brought all these bodies together so that they can have a one voice towards fighting these criminals.
Right. In the other breath, away from perhaps the big money hacks and websites, is the prevailing challenge of the mobile money hacks and the taking over of WhatsApps, which you alluded to a lot earlier. Is there an intervention in any way that the government intends to roll out? Yes, we know that for the telecom companies, they are resorting to a lot more education amongst many other things. There are questions as to prosecutions, possible arrests, and the likes of persons or cartels who are engaged in this actively. Does that come up in this awareness month, and what level of consideration is being given to that as well? Because that borders on the ordinary Ghanaian whose very little money could be taken out of the account.
Well, that's what my minister, Honorable Sam George, stated yesterday in his speech that the ministry is collaborating with the Attorney General Department and then the Chief Justice to have a specialized course that will deal with cyber crimes in this country. That's what he talked about, so that they can expeditiously deal with criminals of that nature who go in and take out monies from people's wallets without their knowledge and all that, or scam them in a different form. I mean, if you are going to pass them through the normal legal process, court process, it sometimes delays, and the people sometimes walk away with it because they will describe it as not any first degree felony or that matter. And then, so such a person, even to the extent of granting people like that bail, they continue to scam others. And so we are in talks with them, and very soon such courts will be established. And as soon as, because the mobile now national signal bureaus, they are on top of their job as we speak now. It has now been positioned well, looking at the personality in charge, Dr. Atabwate. They are coming after those criminals. If you think that you can hide behind numbers, phone numbers, and misbehave, they will catch you because they are spying on them and they will get them. And so these people, as soon as they are caught in, they will be handed to these specialized courts and they will be dealt with accordingly. So government is doing something about it to make sure that our people are protected, our innocent brothers and sisters are properly protected against these criminals. Because every day they come in different form. Apart from that, look, we have what called cyberbullying. Go on Facebook and you see how they bully people on Facebook. Go to TikTok and you see how people bully. Because he has gotten access to some 5 cities data or credit, he'll go there and sit behind the phone and write rubbish about people, punishing people images and their credibility. These are all cyberbullying. Sometimes the person might not even see it. Meanwhile, you have then tarnish his image across platforms all over the place. And as soon as people like that are picked, you see, we the politician will rush and come and say, hey, allow him. He has done this. We have others did this, and they'll do this. These are the things we are talking of. And I'm happy the American government, now United States, you go there to look for visa, you know what they will do? They'll go to your social media platform. You see the kind of thing you are doing over there before they will allow you into their country. I think this is what Ghana government we have to also take on board. We will start now monitoring people, social media account, what they write in there, and that will determine what kind of activities you allow such people to be involved in. Because it's part and parcel of your life.
Right. Alaj, I want to say a big thank you to you for speaking to us this morning, and that open invitation to join us in the studio, please.
Very well, I'll come.
Is hot, and so we'll look forward to engaging you and then the work being carried out by GIFEC a lot later. But as always, I appreciate you speaking to us.
I'm grateful.
That's Alhaji Rashid Tanko Computer speaking to us this morning on the launch of the Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Talk to us about Oktoberfest. I want Ferrari or some Mahama. Let's do good music from DJ Abiam. wanting to make enough to take care of their family. One individual I need to ask this question in terms of that song about making money. Sixus, how much are you hoping to make so that you can call it quits in terms of effort, everything else? $1 million?
We never stop.
I thought you said you have a response for me, and now you say you never stop.
We never stop. No, we are on air, so I cannot give you my response that I wanted to give you.
Oh. No,
but
I thought you are being honest.
If you are, even the richest man in the world is still looking for money. And whom am I?
It's a genuine question.
In our part of the world, we are a communal people.
What is yours belongs
for
to
your entire community. Yeah. So it is never really enough. You see, as much as maybe you've built a house, a mansion, for that matter, you have a number of cars, but you still have to, number one, maintain what you have and take care of the other communal needs, the ones that will benefit your community. I hear that today rich people are greedy. They don't help the communities again.
As much as they were known to
be the case. Yeah. But if you look at it from that angle, it's never enough. There's never a time to quit looking for money, because money is good though.
Yeah, but they also ask the question: is there ever a time where you say to yourself, "Okay, this is enough"? Obviously,
no.
Maybe
you're
not there.
How you used to work. In fact, this is not about working hard. It's about working smart. You need to be able to get to a point where you don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. because you have to go and earn a living. But that's money or amount that you have raised is now working for you. It's one of the inspirations I always got from the motivational speakers.
Let your money work for you.
Let your money work for you. I don't know when my money will start working for me.
You don't know if it's already working for you.
Oh, please, I beg you. I'm the one working for my money.
Your money is Six's money is already working for you.
I'm the one working for my money. So, I mean, that is where we should be getting to now. That as young people, we should be able to be smart enough to find the legit investment opportunities or money-making opportunities, which will allow us to, the little that we have, put it in there, let it grow for you, let it work for you, so that you are there, then they are calling you and asking you,
oh, your portfolio is done something. Should we roll it over?
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Say, oh, sir, what do you want to do this time?
I mean, that's
any opening? I mean, you put it here.
That's the dream of as many people as I can count.
That's
but
a conversation
there's a reality as to how many can ever get there, how many can ever stop working for the money until the day they call it quits.
That question is a question of the system, to be answered by the system. See, just yesterday we were having the conversation about the credit system. In other jurisdictions, Mawuena, you don't have to pay cash for a car or pay cash for a house. You don't have to pay cash for anything. I mean, it's a credit system. You how do I say this? You walk in with your 10 fingers.
And you work and be paying for it, yeah.
You get it. But in Ghana, your rent has to be 2 years advance, cash and carry. Your car has to be, if they say 500,000 cedis for your Your car was it's a CRV, right? Okay, so 500,000.
Engage in such mischief. As we are trying to be honest in our conversations this morning, we're engaged in such dubious mischief.
So your CRV, let's just assume that
Please,
you bought your CRV.
For the listeners, I do not own a CRV, and 6 is good. Has got to stop me.
I am speaking into your life, my brother.
Let's proceed.
You don't need to count 500,000 cedis cash to go and give to some garage owner and pick the car from there. When you pick the car from there, you now have to go to DVLA, go through the necessary registration processes that is done. No, you go to a mechanic first, right?
Because you don't trust the dealer and what it is that you've been
these
doing.
are our dealers, big question. So you go to a mechanic before you pay off the money. You pay off the money, you carry to DVLA, do the necessary whatever. I'm sure from there you are going to a sprayer or a what do they call that one? Tin something.
To go and tint
do that one.
That's even against the law.
By the time you go through all of this, the amount of money you would have spent maybe some 60,000 more. I'm sure now it will cost a lot more to register a vehicle. So by the time you go through all of this, let's just say 600,000. Okay. How many young people in Ghana today can legitimately count 600,000 Ghana cedis? Or you want to buy a property. Abiam is selling land for Abiam, how much 200,000. So you see Abiam say, oh, Charlie, I just got this job. I want a place, some cool place in a breeder. Then Abiam says, bring me 200,000. Abiam is waiting for 200,000 plus facilitation. Cash. So
this is the way he says cash.
How many young people, even 5 years into a job in this town, can count 200,000 Ghana cedis to go and give to Abiam, for Abiam to measure a 10 by 5 plot for them? So you get the problem.
These are realities, perhaps, that, just that one song.
The most annoying part is the national service people. You have got national service posting to some place. Then they say rent is let's say 300 cedis a month by 2 years. This person hasn't even received his first allowance.
Yeah.
And the landlord is there waiting for it. So you see the problem.
Yeah.
So it's this. The problem is the system.
Right. We'll talk a bit more. Perhaps tomorrow on a Friday we can have carefree, honest conversations. But it's time for us to do birthdays quickly before we run out of